Hi everybody, it's T. Now, earlier I had posted something on my Facebook about what kind of video you would like for me to do today. And I had so many comments, and a lot of those I'm like, oh wow, I've got enough to do a video every day this week. But one of them that caught my eye was letting go and moving on. And the reason that I like this comment is because I've been there and I've done that, and I know how difficult it is. And it's something that I feel like I can give you a little bit of advice on since I've been there. Before I do that, take a moment and subscribe to my channel because I don't always post my videos on social media, especially if I'm running and I don't have very much time to do things. I'm running around like a maniac trying to get things done for the day. I'll forget to post like on Facebook or something, and then you won't know that I did a video unless you subscribe. And of course, go to my website, TessaLunaLuvia.com, and learn all about me. Okay, letting go and moving on. Okay, now I know a lot of you remember back in 2012, it's like 2011, 2012, I was going through a really bad divorce, and wow, I can't believe I'm like going back there because I had let that so completely go. But I was going through a divorce. It was a really bad time for me. 2012 was probably the worst year in a really long time. I was feeling unloved, unappreciated. My husband was constantly cheating. I just didn't want to be with him anymore. I was just over it. But we had kids, we had bills, we had mortgage, we had so much stuff that I felt like I cannot move away from this. I mean, how could I? I didn't have money to like make it on my own. I had gave up my job as a lawyer to do my spiritual work full time. And then when I became an emotional wreck and couldn't do my spiritual work, guess what? My finances failed. So I was kind of stuck. I felt like I was stuck. How was I going to get away from this situation, especially when all my children were his children? So I basically was going to have to see him and deal with him at some point. So how was I just going to drop all that and let go? And did I mention that we had known each other and been together on and off for 20 years and married twice? So I just didn't know how I was going to get away from that. I knew I needed to, but I didn't know how I was going to. Well, if you go back to 2011, and how I felt so desperate and down and out was that I felt like for a long time he put me in a situation where I felt down and didn't care about myself, and that he literally made me feel as bad as he treated me. So I felt like I was worthless. Nobody else would want me. I wasn't pretty anymore. I wasn't worth, anybody having. And the bad thing is I allowed it to happen. I knew I was better than that. I knew I was pretty enough to find somebody else. I may not have been Miss America, but I was pretty enough to find somebody else. But I let his words control me to the point to where I didn't love myself. I didn't care about myself. I stopped doing my hair. I stopped doing my makeup. I was wearing sweatpants every day. I literally did not care because this is how he made me feel. It wasn't until the beginning of 2013. Now, we all know the twin flame story and the whole I moved on with somebody else story. And I met somebody, and they made me feel alive and loved and worth something. And my whole life changed. And I started loving myself and doing my hair and doing my makeup and caring. And the divorce was getting ready to be final, and I was just happy to be free, And then it hit me one day. Was it that guy that was giving me everything I needed? Or did I have it in me the whole time to give to myself? And I used the excuse that I couldn't do any better, I couldn't do anything about it, as an excuse not to care. So when I realized that, I started looking at the guy that came in and rescued me, and I realized, I don't know if he's really my twin flame or not. I think I was so desperate for love and so desperate to be cared for that he came in and he filled all those needs. So I associated that with everything I ever needed, ever wanted, and he was my twin flame. There was just too much about his life that didn't work for me, and so I had to start questioning all that. But he did make me love myself again, something that I don't think I've ever done my entire life. I had a horrible upbringing, and then I had a horrible 20s. Everything was just horrible. And so but he made me love myself. He made me look at myself in a whole nother way, like I was desirable again. So I cared to do my hair and my makeup and look good and all that. So did that make me leave? Is that how I got away? I mean, because I know y'all are thinking, wait a minute, but how did that help you move on? It helped me move on because I thought I was trapped. I thought I couldn't do any better. I thought I couldn't get away from that. I was trapped because I didn't have any confidence in myself that I could make it as a single mom. But starting to love myself again, I started having confidence in myself that I could basically do anything. And when I started to get that confidence, I was ready to go. I deserved better. I wanted better. I wanted to be treated better. And I realized that my situation wasn't going to work for me no longer, and I left. So what about you guys? So you're thinking, what about us? We're stuck in that same situation now, but it's not like, we have somebody coming in and rescuing us like you did. But the whole point of this video is to tell you that you don't need anybody to rescue you. I said this before in one of my last videos that I get so many women that come to me for readings because they want to know if their husband's cheating, or men want to know if their wives are cheating because they need a reason, a legitimate reason to leave the relationship. And I always go, and proof is going to help you do that, because I know so many women that get the proof they need and they still stay. And their excuses are always the same. I can't leave. I can't financially leave. I don't financially have the money. I don't have a way to go. When you're ready to go, you will find a way to go. If it's really so bad that you're ready to go, you need to find a way to go. You reach out to family members. You reach out to shelters. You find a way. I stayed in a shelter for 2.5 months when my oldest daughter was a newborn baby because I had nowhere to go. But I was in a very abusive relationship with a man who actually ended up doing prison time for the harm he did to me. So when you're ready to go, you will go. I know that for a fact because I have been there. But say your relationship's not violent. Say that you're just not happy. Well, that should be enough in itself to leave, is that you're not happy. Like I was saying before, women with their cheating husbands, they always need this proof. Why do you need proof? If you think that your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend is cheating on you or just clearly making you unhappy, that should be enough in itself. I think a lot of times we want to put the blame on the other person because, again, we want to leave looking like the good guy. And so we need a reason to make it all their fault so we can leave being the good guy. When sometimes it's just not that simple. Sometimes you look for proof for so long and it never comes. You don't realize that this whole time you've been looking for proof, you're still in that same situation. All this time you could have just left and went and did something else and worked on you. And so moving on and letting go out of a relationship is pretty much just moving on and letting go. You have to decide that something no longer works for you. And I want to say this with everything that I have. Please, women and men, please don't try to change your partners, because nobody can change another person. I don't want to be in any type of relationship that I feel I need to change my partner. Now, if my partner does something that I feel I can't live with or it doesn't work for me, then I'll simply walk away. But it's not my job to re-raise the person I'm with. I'm not trying to change anybody, but I can decide what will and won't work for me and simply walk away. And I understand there's divorces and we got to split property and there's children and child support. But you know what? If you really want to go, you'll figure it out. You'll have to deal with the lawyers and the divorces and the child support, and that's just a part of life. If you really want to leave, that's what you'll do. That's what many women and men have done before you, and that's what many men and women will do after you. If you clearly and really want to go, you will go. But you can't say you want to go and constantly say you want to go but never do anything. You have to make a conscious decision what works for you and what won't. We're not trying to change anybody, but we do have to decide what will work for us and what won't work for us. Now, If we're talking about letting go as far as friends, family, and like parents and people in your life that don't agree with what you do or don't agree with your lifestyle or don't support you, then it's kind of the same concept. You walk away and you let it go. It will hurt. You will miss these people. You do love these people and you do wish they would love you back. But again, you cannot force somebody to do something. You cannot change somebody. They are who they are before they met you, and they'll be who they'll be when they leave you or you leave them. You can't change anyone, but you can decide what will and won't work for you in your life. I did a video a while back about toxic people. You should go watch it. You know, when you have somebody toxic in your life, it poisons everything around you. It poisons your happiness. It poisons your finances. It poisons everything. When you are not okay, nothing around you is okay. And when you have toxic people in your life falls apart. You know, you're allowing these people to destroy you. And again, you can't change these people. You have to walk away. It is painful. It is hard to be the better person and walk away without proof. It is hard to be the bad guy and walk out of the relationship without any blame being put on the other person. But we're not here to find proof. We're not here to live in a toxic relationship or have toxic people in our life and to find proof so we can have an excuse to have a better life. We're here to have a good life. We're here to walk our path and live our purpose. And if walking away from somebody that makes us feel less than happy is what we have to do it, then that's what you do. And it's as simple as that. You decide it no longer works for you. You sit down with that person, you talk to them, and you say, this is how I feel, and let them tell you how they feel, and try to work it out and come with some type of a compromise. And if you can't, or that person refuses to talk, you tried. Walk away. Let it go. If you're married, then you need to take steps to get out of that marriage. Whatever you have to do, put some money to the side, start finding another place. Whatever you have to do is what you need to do, because there's no reason anywhere to live every single day of your life miserable when there's so much happiness that you could be feeling. So I hope that helps. And if you have any more suggestions of videos you'd like to see me do, just head on over to my Facebook page, click like, and leave me a comment. Night, everybody.